The Oscar nominations have just been announced, and there had been a lot of hopes for Irish representation in there. Esther McCarthy joins us now to tell us just how bad things are. Good afternoon, Esther.
Hi, Sean. How are you?
It's the first time Ireland's been disappointed by not getting a kneecapping, but they weren't there.
No, it's a big surprise. I think there was a hope that they might get a nomination for Best Song, but a definite expectation, even among international pundits who were calling them as one of the entries for Best International Feature. You'll remember that was the category that Colleen Kuhn got nominated in a couple of years ago. It's kind of the rest of the world category for films not in the English language, basically. Even the likes of Variety, the top pundits in Variety in the US were favouring Kneecap, and there was certainly on foot of a heap of BAFTA nominations last week. It felt like the wind was under their sails.
Yeah.
So it is quite a surprise, actually.
Did they put in, the way you have to do all this campaigning and put up billboards and all that kind of stuff? Had they done that?
I mean, the lads have been a theatre really throughout the campaign, I think, in their staging of the whole thing. So the film would definitely have been very well known about. And it was shortlisted back just before Christmas in the final 15 in that category. So that is done by the Academy in order to get the voting body to watch all of those 15 films and give a proper analysis and vote on the top five then,
Yeah.
But it was a really tough category this year, it has to be said. I'm not sure of the ones that the five were there who I would take out and put in,
Yeah.
So I think that category has become really, really difficult and competitive in recent years in particular. So it is a shame, though. I was so sure they were getting that one that I was wondering if they'd get Best Song as well.
Yeah. Now, I suppose the only bright spot from an Irish point of view is Tailored Films, who are the producers of The Apprentice.
Yeah, this is a nice surprise because I think that it was felt maybe that Hollywood was so sick of Donald Trump that they wouldn't pay attention to The Apprentice. It's a good film. It charts the young Trump's ascent into power through this kind of Faustian deal he makes with an influential right-wing lawyer and political fixer by the name of Roy Cohn. So it's a three-country co-production, Canadian, Irish and Danish, with Tailored Films, a young Irish company, has to be said. This is a remarkable achievement for them. And they're a young Irish company, and they're the Irish producers, founded by Ruth Tracy and Julianne Ford, and co-produced in Ireland. And it got 2 acting nominations, so really high category nominations for Sebastian Stan and Jeremy Strong, or as we'll now call them, Sebastian McStanaha and Jeremy McStanaha.
Indeed, that is their proper names now. And he'll probably, Jeremy Strong will probably become fluent in Irish just for his speech.
We'll have him playing the fiddle at the awards.
Yes. Now, in terms of the Best Actor and Actress nominations, Demi Moore's in there, which is nice to see, I thought.
I was delighted to see it. What a comeback! I mean, she was the best speech of the night, I think. At the Golden Globes a few weeks ago, when she talked about being dismissed by one producer as a popcorn actress. I'm old enough to remember the kind of vitriol against Demi Moore at the height of her success. She was nicknamed Gimme Moore, and that was simply for wanting to be paid the same as her male co-stars in the 80s and 90s. So to see this comeback in an outrageous film, a film that it was felt maybe that the Academy might overlook because it's too shocking, and it's really out there. And to see it in for Best Picture as well is a big nod, I think, for that and for her chances.
So you know what I'm going to ask you now? I'm going to ask you to make a series of rash predictions. Who's going to win what?
Oh, God. I think I'd love to see Emilia Perez win big. It's got most nominations. It's got 13. It has really divided people, this film. It's by a French director by the name of Jacques Audiard. And he made a few different films, but this is a real departure for him because it's kind of set around a Mexican drugs lord who wants to basically fake their own death so that they can change gender and live the life they've always wanted to live. So it's a kind of narcos cartel unfolding in Spanish but then it becomes a musical. And it's too audacious and too crazy, I think, for some people. And a lot of people really hate it, but it's a huge win for Netflix, who backed this film to get 13 Oscar nominations. And it has to make it the favourite to win Best Picture, I think.
Right. Okay.
I really loved it. It's not perfect. It's kind of a glorious mess, but I love the audaciousness of it. And it just leaves everything on the dance floor, Sean, as a film. And I really enjoyed it for that. And it's a real mix-up for ODR, because he made a film called A Prophet years ago, a brilliant kind of mobster film about the coming of age of a young criminal in French as well. And he's never done the same thing twice. He's a filmmaker I really admire.
Yeah. Okay. Well, between Emilia Perez and The Apprentice, Donald Trump will probably order bombing of Hollywood, bomb the woke out of it. Esther, lovely to speak to you as ever. Esther McCarthy there. You are listening to The Moncrief Show on Newstalk. We'll take a break. Back in a couple of minutes.